Tokyo, the safest metropolis on Earth, a miracle of engineering, efficiency, and law. When you walk these streets, you see glass and steel, you see order. But if you were to take a sledgehammer to the foundation of the National Stadium, or drill into the concrete pylons of the expressways, or peel back the layers of the luxury high-rises in Roppongi, you wouldn't just find rebar and cement. You would find something else. You'd find a fingerprint, a very specific fingerprint, usually missing the tip of the pinky finger. We are told that the Yakuza are a relic. We are told they are a dying breed of tattooed thugs who deal in illegal gambling and extortion. That is the movie version. That is the lie. The reality is much more boring and much more profitable. The modern Yakuza isn't a gang. It is arguably the largest unofficial human resources department in Japan. And their primary business isn't drugs, it's construction. Today, we are going to look at the ledger they don't want you to see. We are going to explain why the concrete under your feet costs 30% more than it should, how organized crime infiltrated the government's biggest budget, and why, even today, Japan cannot build a bridge without paying a tax to the underworld. Welcome to the economics of vice. To understand why gangsters run construction, you have to understand the math of desperation. Japan is flattened, the cities are ash, the government is paralyzed. But the country needs to rebuild, and it needs to rebuild now. There is a massive demand for labor, not skilled architects with degrees. They needed muscle, bodies to clear rubble, pour cement, and haul steel. The government didn't have the infrastructure to manage hundreds of thousands of day laborers, but the Yakuza did. This is the moment the symbiotic relationship began. The government had the money, the Yakuza had the men. It's a system called ninsokudashi, labor dispatch. If you were a major construction firm, let's call you Mega Build Corp, you didn't want to go into the slums to hire drifters, ex-convicts, and the homeless. It was dangerous, it was messy, and the paperwork was a nightmare. So you called a broker. The broker would deliver 500 men by 6 a.m. No questions asked, no insurance, no pension. If a worker got hurt, he disappeared. If a worker complained, he was silenced. In exchange, the broker took a cut of every single paycheck. This was the seed. The Yakuza realized that selling drugs is risky. The police chase you. But selling labor to the government, that's not just legal, it's essential service. Fast forward to the modern era. That seed has grown into a massive concrete oak tree, and the fruit of that tree is a practice called Dango. This is where the real money is made. In a fair market, if the government wants to build a new tunnel, they open it for bidding. Company A offers to do it for $100 million. Company B offers $90 million. Company B should win, right? That is competition. It drives prices down. The Yakuza hates competition. Competition destroys profit margins. So they fixed it. Dango is institutionalized bid rigging. Before the official government bid happens, the heads of the major construction companies meet in secret, usually in a high-end tea house or a golf course owned by a neutral third party, the Yakuza. At this meeting, they decide the winner in advance. Okay, Shimizu-san, you take the tunnel project this month. Tanaka-san, you take the highway expansion next month. Since they know who is going to win, they all agree to bid unnaturally high prices. If the project should cost $100 million, they agree that the winner will bid $150 million. Everyone else bids $160 million. The winner gets the contract at a massive markup. The taxpayers overpay by $50 million. And the Yakuza? They're the enforcers. They ensure nobody breaks the agreement. If a company tries to go rogue and actually bid a low price to steal the contract, they get a visit. Their machinery breaks, their headquarters gets targeted, or their executives have an accident. For this service, the Yakuza takes a consulting fee, usually 1 to 5% of the total project value. Do the math. On a billion-dollar airport project, a 2% fee is $20 million. Pure profit. No overhead, no inventory, just for keeping the peace. But you might be thinking, wait, Japan has laws against this. The police must know. Of course they know. But the construction industry is the largest donor to political campaigns in Japan. It is the engine of the economy. If you arrest the Yakuza brokers, the labor stops. If you stop the labor, the building stops. If the building stops, the economy crashes. It's a hostage situation disguised as an industry. But there is a darker layer than just stolen tax money. We need to talk about Fukushima. March 2011, the tsunami hits. The reactors melt down. It is the most dangerous place on Earth. High radiation, deadly debris. Who is going to clean it up? You can't just post a job ad on LinkedIn saying, "Wanted, people willing to die of cancer in 5 years for minimum wage." The government allocated trillions of yen for the cleanup. They paid giant, reputable construction conglomerates. Think of brands you trust. But those giants didn't send their own employees. They subcontracted the work to a smaller company, who subcontracted to a smaller one, who subcontracted to a smaller one. By the time you get to the 7th layer of subcontracting, you are no longer dealing with a company. You are dealing with a guy with a burner phone and a van. Investigations revealed that Yakuza syndicates were recruiting homeless men from train stations, debtors who owed them money, and the mentally disabled. They loaded them onto buses and sent them into the radioactive zone. The government paid $200 a day for that worker. By the time the money trickled down through the Yakuza middlemen, the worker received maybe $50. And then the syndicate deducted money for food and lodging. Some workers ended up owing money for the privilege of cleaning up nuclear waste. This isn't ancient history. This happened in the last decade. It is the ultimate capitalist alchemy, turning human radiation exposure into clean cash flow. So where are we today? In 2011, Japan passed the Organized Crime Exclusion Ordinances. These were tough laws. They made it illegal for any company to knowingly do business with the Yakuza. If you're a bank, you can't give them an account. If you're a construction firm, you can't sign a contract with them. Did this kill the Yakuza? No, it forced them to evolve. The days of the flashy gangster are over. The smart ones moved into what the police call the gray zone. They created front companies, waste management firms, demolition crews, staffing agencies. On paper, the CEO is a clean citizen, no criminal record. But look at the board of directors. Look at the special advisors. They realized that ownership is dangerous. Control is what matters. Take the business of Giagea, land sharking. Let's say a major developer wants to build a new luxury mall, but there's an old apartment block in the way, and the tenants refuse to leave. Japanese tenant laws are very strong. You can't just kick people out. Court cases take years. The developer can't get his hands dirty, so he hires a consulting firm. The consulting firm sends men to the building. They don't beat anyone up. That's too loud. Instead, they blast heavy metal music at 3 a.m. They dump rotting fish in the mailbox. They park a van in the driveway so nobody can get out. They legally harass the tenants until they break. The tenants leave. The building is demolished. The mall goes up. And the Yakuza gets a check for tenant relocation services. It is a white-collar crime committed with blue-collar tactics.
The construction industry in Japan is projected to be worth over $500 billion. It is an industry that requires speed, cheap labor, and the acquisition of land. These are three things that democratic laws make difficult, but criminal organizations make easy. We like to think of the economy as a clean machine, supply and demand, rules and regulations. But sometimes efficiency requires a moral vacuum. The Yakuza didn't hijack the construction industry. They were invited in. They are the grease in the gears. They do the dirty work that allows the shiny skyline to exist. So the next time you look at a skyscraper, don't just admire the architecture. Ask yourself, who poured the foundation? How much did they really get paid? And who is collecting the rent?